Have you ever felt that burning desire to make a difference in someone's life or to make a difference in the world around you, but something just keeps whispering to you, not yet? What if I told you that the very doubt that's holding you back is actually the reason that someone needs to hear from you right now? Like, think about this thought that may shift everything for you. Like, what if starting before you feel ready isn't just brave, but actually is the most generous thing that you could do for someone else? Now, if any of these things pique your interest or ring true to you, you're going to want to stick around and watch this video. Now, my name is Talbert. I'm the founder and author of the GIVER method. And today we're going to be tackling something that stops too many incredible people from creating the impact that they're meant to have, and that's waiting until they feel ready to share their gifts. Now, we're going to dive deep into that. And before we do, just want to cover a few things. Like, if you are new here, please hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. Of course, after the video is done, you can check us out at thegivermethod.com, get details about the book being released next month, or any of the other things we do about speaking on stages or being on podcasts, things along those lines. Big thing, though, is you can sign up and get onto our newsletter. Between getting notifications, following us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, or being a subscriber to this, we don't want you to miss out on any of the weekly conversations we have about unleashing your gifts and creating a more meaningful impact in people's lives. Now, I will talk a lot about this thing called the GIVER method. Now, in the GIVER method, we cover a lot of that on the other videos here on the channel. You can go check them out. There's all sorts of ones that specifically dive into that. But just a quick overview if you are new. So the GIVER method, it is a framework that is designed to help you to discover your unique gifts and superpowers and develop them in a way that you can go to the people that are in your sphere of influence and create more value for them and build deeper relationships with them. And the big thing is, it's not about perfection, but it's about the presence, and it's about presence and being willing to serve and to give in a way where you're not asking for anything in return. This allows you to step into who it is that you're meant to be. It allows you to create deeper, more meaningful relationships. And I found that when people do that, the universe has a way of paying them back. It doesn't necessarily happen every time, but I've seen it too many times where people develop these gifts and superpowers and they just start giving even if they're not ready. And as they do, they find how the universe will pay them back over time. So we're going to dive into that. Now, as I go through, I've got different ideas and principles and things we're going to cover. As I do, each one is going to have an action item with it. So I recommend you grab a piece of paper, open up a note, and jot down your thoughts while I give the principle or the idea and the action item, because although it's great that you're watching the video, the true change comes when you start to put those things into motion, into action. So I recommend grab that piece of paper, open up a note. Maybe you want to do it while I tell a quick story, and then we'll dive into it. So this whole idea of starting before you feel ready. And that's something that has rung true so many times throughout my life. And as I've worked with individuals, I see it ring true throughout their lives. I've seen many individuals that they start doing the thing it is that they maybe want to do, that desire, that passion, before they're ready. They sell the product before maybe it's ready to go, but they know it's going to create an impact. For me, I worked on transitioning from this idea of I'm in the business of working with small businesses and entrepreneurs and helping them identify their client journey and then how they build that into tools, that they utilize to deliver their client journey. And so my world has been in this systems and processes and technology. And I got this idea and this kind of calling to write the book, The GIVER Method, and to start coaching people on this idea of becoming a true giver. And that's a big change for me because I'm not in, at the time, I wasn't in the personal development space. Like, that's not my world. That's not who I am. But I felt this need and this draw to do it. I started researching, I started doing all this work, and I was like, I got to prepare so I can be ready to write this book. And I realized it's not going to be a right time. Lots of people say they're going to write a book. Lots of people say they're going to start a program. Lots of people say they're going to start recording videos for YouTube. Do they ever actually end up doing it? And so I just started by writing the first chapter, just so I could get my thoughts out and be like, is this real? Does this resonate with people? And what I found is as I shared it with people, even just like a rough first draft of the first chapter, I shared it with people just to get their ideas and say, hey, am I onto something, or am I crazy? And the feedback from everybody was so overwhelmingly positive that it gave me the motivation and the drive to continue to push forward, continue to research and learn, and to actually go and write the book and start recording the content and start working with individuals to help them discover their gifts and superpowers. So I can attest personally how much it will change your life if you find what your gifts and superpowers are and you just start giving even if you don't feel ready. So we're going to unlock these principles, these ideas of the things that you could do. They're going to shift this for you, and some of the things that maybe I did that I helped me along that way, and that I've seen others use that helped them along that way. So the first principle is this idea of the ready enough reality. And the truth is, like, about readiness, like, it's a feeling, like, not a fact. Readiness is often viewed as a destination or a point where we feel like we're completely prepared or qualified. But in reality, this state of readiness is, like, elusive and subjective. If you wait for the perfect moment when you feel ready, you might be waiting forever. And the truth is that readiness, it grows through action. It grows through you actually taking steps forward. Every expert, every leader started by stepping forward before they felt completely prepared. Their growth came from embracing discomfort, of stepping into the unknown and learning along the way. I love this idea of, people becoming experts, because I read a book recently and I feel like they teed it up perfectly where they said experts. Just being an expert doesn't mean that you're at the top of your field or that you're the number one best person in that thing. Being an expert is that you know something that I don't, or you have a skill that I don't, and you can teach me, and you can show me, or you could deliver value to me. To me, you are an expert. So think about that as that idea of, like, just as long as you have that bit that you can share, you are an expert to someone. And so the action item here I'm going to say is to reflect on a time when you achieved something, maybe despite you when you're feeling prepared, like you felt underprepared, and write down the steps that you took maybe to overcome that feeling, and reflect and identify maybe some small actions that you could take now, even if you don't feel ready, to share something this week. What are the things that you're holding back on, and how can you find the ways to maybe just share something small this week? It may be small and insignificant, which is going to get us into our next principle, but that's the path forward. So the second principle is small steps, and using that as a strategy, because the journey of impact, it doesn't start, or it's not made up of grand gestures. Big impacts are often the result of really small and consistent actions that you take. These steps may seem really insignificant on their own, but over time, they really do accumulate into substantial progress. So small actions, they build momentum, they create a cycle of accomplishment, which makes you build up your confidence in what it is that you're doing and the powers and gifts that you're delivering to people. They also provide you with opportunities for course corrections, allowing you to maybe refine the approach without overwhelming pressure or having to make high stakes decisions. There's a big reason I started creating content online, and it was because it gave me a chance to take what I've known was in my brain and what I've typed out, and I know when I type it out I can make it say a certain thing, and start saying it. How do I say it in a way that it helps me to then coach better? It helps me to walk people through these processes better. And so for months and months and months, I've just been creating content with that idea of how do I make it that I can make the course corrections now, so that as I continue to coach people, I can continue to refine the process and make it even better. And so your action item here is to choose maybe some sort of recurring daily activity where you can apply your unique skills. For example, if you excel at encouraging others, like commit to offering a word of encouragement each and every day. Whatever that may be for you, document your actions and any feedback, and track how these small efforts maybe build some momentum, or maybe build some bigger momentum over whatever period of time that you're tracking them. Which leads to the third thing, which is all about this taking advantage of authenticity. Your power lies in your authenticity, especially when you're just getting started. Authenticity is such a powerful tool. When you show up as your true self, complete with your strengths, your struggles, and your imperfections, you're going to build much more genuine connections with people. People resonate with authenticity because it fosters trust and reliability. You don't have to put on that completely polished exterior. Just be yourself. And by embracing and sharing your authentic self, you create that safe space for others to do the same, leading to deeper, more meaningful interactions, which leads to you being able to give of your gifts and superpowers more and develop them more because you're utilizing them more. So an action item here is going to be, identify one aspect of your personality or experience or something that maybe you often downplay. Maybe what's a gift or superpower you have to downplay. Make conscious effort to share this as a part of yourself in the next conversation that you have, your next interaction, your next presentation. Observe how your authenticity impacts the interaction and strengthens your connections and the conversations that you're having. Now, the fourth principle, we talked a lot about this idea of imposter syndrome. So it's this imposter signal that people receive, because there's something really fascinating about imposter syndrome. It's the strongest in people who have the most to offer. So you'll have that feeling of being a fraud. And I've been there in many cases, many different situations over time. Imposter syndrome often feels like a barrier, but it's actually a sign that you are growing. It indicates that you're stretching beyond your comfort zone and tackling challenges that push you beyond your boundaries. This discomfort that you're going to have, or that feeling, is such a natural part of evolving and expanding whatever it is that your impact is. So instead of letting it hold you back, use it as a cue that you're on the right track, moving forward towards greater achievements. Tell yourself, like, I'm not a fraud, I'm not concerned, I'm not worried, I'm excited. And just keep repeating that to yourself. I'm excited about where I'm going. I'm excited that I'm making these steps moving forward. And watch how it shifts that perspective for you, that as you start to feel that gut feeling, you'll start to realize it's excitement for what's coming, and not that you feel like you're not there or that you're a fraud. And so action step here is, the next time you experience imposter syndrome, like, pause and acknowledge that signal as growth. Use that idea of, like, I'm excited. I'm excited for the growth I'm experiencing. I'm excited for where this is taking me. You could actually take the time, and as you feel it, write down the task or challenge that you were facing, and maybe the reason why it feels daunting to you, or why you started to feel that way. And then list out skills or qualities that you bring to the table that will help you succeed. Trying to turn that self-doubt into a tool of self-awareness and motivation. Now, the fifth principle is about growth and that connection, growth when you're connected with others. So building connections with others who are also growing, it accelerates your journey. Surround yourself with, a network of people who are growth-minded. Create some sort of supportive environment where learning and development can flourish. These connections provide different perspectives, shared experiences, some sort of a collective wisdom that you get to pull from day after day. Being a part of a community that values growth and encourages you to push beyond your boundaries while offering you the safety and encouragement and support. I'm a part of one of these communities, multiple, I get to be a part of multiple of these types of communities, but one specifically where people join, and they're like, all small business owners, and as they join, they often say, like, well, I joined because I know there's all this tips for, running a great business, and marketing tips, and, hiring or speaking on stages. They're like, but what I love is how vulnerable people are, and how everyone's willing to share, and everyone's willing to contribute, and no one feels like they're the expert trying to run the conversation. Everyone has their time to share. And so you want to find these sort of communities, these networks, these individuals who are growth-minded like yourself. So action steps are pretty easy. Maybe reach out to one person this week who shares your interests and goals, and focus on how you could build genuine connection with them, rather than maybe using it as a networking opportunity. Or you could join some sort of a group, like I talked about, like-minded individuals who focus on growth and impact. It could be in a professional network, an online forum, a local meetup, and just set regular meetings to share your experiences, to share your challenges and successes, and use these connections to fuel your journey. I've got one of these calls coming up later on today, and it's one that I look forward to. I'm so excited for it, and being able to break out into smaller groups with the people on this Zoom call and work through the things that we're trying to develop or work on ourselves. Now, the sixth principle is what I call the documentation effect. So capturing your journey through writing, video, or other forms of documentation serves multiple purposes. It helps you track your progress, it helps you to reflect on your growth, and to share valuable insights with others. I see this, like I tell people all the time, if you record your first video, put out your first newsletter, put up your first website, and you're not, like, when you look back on it, you're not embarrassed, you probably waited too long to get started. You just have to start somewhere, because your experiences, especially the challenges and the learning moments, they can be a source of inspiration and guides for others who are on some sort of a similar path as you. So start your personal journey, journal, blog, video diary that documents what's happening, and each week choose one experience to reflect on and share publicly. Focus on the lessons learned and how they might help someone else who maybe is just starting out. This became really big for me in trying to think of the stories that I could use as a part of the book or in these videos. Like, really makes me reflect back on my day, my week, this month, this year, my life, and find all the places where I see those coming out of the woodworks of, oh my gosh, this is a lesson I could share, or that's a lesson that I could share. And of course, seventh principle is this idea of, I call it, take permission. It's a permission principle. It's like, before Like, by starting before you feel ready, you give others permission to do the same. Like, no one's going to write you the permission slip to become who it is you're meant to be. You have to take the action. You have to step forward, take permission to actually become who it is. And when you do, it helps others to see that and to do the same. So taking action before you feel completely ready sends this powerful message out to others. It shows that perfection is not a prerequisite for you to make impact in other people's lives, because your willingness to step into that arena, despite doubts and uncertainties, gives others courage to do the same. And it acts as a permission to really create that ripple effect, encouraging this culture of action and authenticity in others. So the action item here is going to be, I look for whatever that platform may be, in a meeting or on social media or a community event, family get together, where you can share recent accomplishments or learned experience, even if it feels imperfect. And notice how your action inspires others to share, to take maybe steps in their own journey, or create some sort of a collective, momentum of the progress that you're going to be having. Because by embracing these sort of principles, you shift your focus from waiting for readiness to actively creating impact. Each step you take, no matter how small, contributes to your growth and inspires others to embark on their own journeys. The impact that you create today, even before you feel prepared, fully prepared, lays this foundation for future, more fulfilled, more meaningful contributions and connections with others. Remember, the world needs your gifts and superpowers now, not when you feel perfectly ready for it. You're the only person that has your combination of shared experiences and gifts and superpowers that you bring to the table, and the world's waiting for it. So your current perspective, even if it's uncertainty, might be exactly what people need to start moving forward themselves. So whatever it is, start small. Choose one way that you could share your gifts and superpowers today. Look for the ways that has impact. Journal about it. Write down. Look for the common themes or things that continue to bubble up based off of that. And then build from there. As you notice the impact, continue to build from there. And if you want to, if you're ready to really start this journey of impact and using your gifts and superpowers to create that, you should go to thegivermethod.com. Consider joining up for our Impact Makers group. You could also sign up for the newsletter, as well as get details or get on the wait list for the book that's coming out next month. So that's thegivermethod.com. You can also check us out: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. Find us in all those places. If you find us there, leave me a comment saying, "Hey Jake, I came from the YouTube video and it makes me feel good that you are following me in multiple places." So sign up for that newsletter. We give exclusive insights. We share all sorts of tips and ideas of how you can share your gifts more effectively. And if this video, if it resonated with you, then give it that thumbs up. Share it with someone else who might need to hear this message. In the comments, tell us maybe one small way that you're going to start sharing your gifts this week. So until next time, just keep growing, keep giving, and remember that someone out there needs exactly what you offer right now, even if you don't feel ready. So start where you are, and with that, and with what you actually have, and just use it wisely. Step into who it is that you're meant to be, and invite the universe to pay you back from that. So until next time, have a great rest of your day.